Hey everybody, welcome back. It is week 3, and I want to get you guys started with our second module. We are moving into the ancient world of ancient Greece. So we will be doing a group-oriented presentation this unit. And because we're a very small class, normally have 3 separate groups, and we cover 3 separate Sophocles plays. But because there are 7 of you, we're going to do 2 groups. We're going to have one group covering Oedipus Rex, and we're going to have the other group covering Antigone, which are really, honestly, the 2 most well-known and most popular of the Sophocles trio anyway. So I have gone ahead and set up the groups, in Canvas. So I'm going to show you who you are paired with. And I will be putting this information in the module as well. But you can see your groups here. The Sophocles group 1 with 4 students. You guys are going to cover Oedipus Rex. And then the group 2, you guys will cover Antigone. And like I said, I will put this out in the main part of the Canvas as well. But you are able, once these groups are formed, you are able to communicate with each other just within your group. You can decide how you guys want to divide up work and everything. We're going to talk more about that group presentation next week, but I wanted to have you know which play that you're going to be responsible for. So if you wanted to start reading it ahead of time, you certainly can. So anyway, that's the groups. I'm going to go back to the home screen, and I'm going to turn on the normal view as students so that we can just cover what's happening this week, because we're actually doing some things before we get to Sophocles. But like I said, I wanted you guys to know which of the 2 plays you're going to be responsible for so that you can kind of get started thinking about that and planning it. And you can be talking to your group members within the group to decide if you want to do things live in person, if you want to utilize Zoom to do all the work. There's any number of ways that you can do that. So anyway, but let's take a look at where we are. As I mentioned, we're in module 2 now. Yay, new module, new week. Module 2 goes all the way until week 7. So we're going to be in module 2 for a little bit. The first order of business is we're going to be looking at Plato's Republic and some additional information on how government worked in ancient Greece, because of course, ancient Greece is one of the main influences on how the United States is governed. So one of the earliest influences on our own government. So anyway, so that's what's going to take place this week. And your only assignment is to participate in the second discussion board. So let's take a look at the module and see where everything is. So in the overview and objectives, of course, these are for weeks 3 through 7. You can take a look at those on your own and which course objectives we are focusing on this week. And then for the learning materials in week 3, you have the selections from Plato's Republic and additional information on Greek government in the LibGuide. While it's not required, you certainly can feel free to do your own research on Plato, his concept of the philosopher king, and how democracy functioned in ancient Greece. If you want to supplement our readings, there's certainly a ton of great resources out there. And then you'll participate in the discussion board on Plato. Discuss Plato's concept of the philosopher king and compare that ideal to leaders of today. Feel free to add research to our readings. As I mentioned, you don't have to do additional research, but if you do, keep track of what you find and at least share links to the information. You don't have to have big, giant citations or anything like that, but If you do any additional research beyond the readings that are in our LibGuide, make sure you share those resources so that everyone can access them as well. Your own response should be a 3 to 5 paragraph essay. And then, of course, I do encourage you to respond to others. It is not a requirement, but it is something that at the end, if you're doing this regularly, you can earn some extra points for being a good discusser. That's not a real word, but I just like to make things up from time to time. So this week is a little low key, but that's what you're working on. And then, as I said, I will go ahead and put the names in that. In fact, we just saw where they will go. Under week 4, we will put the list right here. So group 1, Oedipus Rex, group 2, Antigone. And of course, the plays are also located in the LibGuide. So next week is when you should be reading the play. If you want to start now, you can. And then in week 5, it's going to be the time when you guys will work together with your group. So the most important thing is by the end of week 4, everybody needs to have read the plays. Now you can start working ahead of time with each other. That's absolutely fine. But that's kind of the timeline. And then we're going to talk more about the presentations themselves down the road. After we finish with ancient Greece, and we're still in the old section, we're going to be looking at Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Some of you may have read or seen versions of that play before. So that's for week 6 and 7. All right. And that will culminate in paper number 2, which is where we will focus on society and drama. I'll go over that another day. But in the meantime, I hope everybody is having a good week 3 and sending all kinds of good wishes out there for Philosopher Kings. Looking forward to reading your discussions.